Welcome back to Jamie's Adventures in Dirt 4. My name is Ricky, and today is both the finale of Sweden and the finale of the Global Rally Series as well. We have two final stages, and they are both under 4 miles, so this will not be a super long episode, but those two stages will be fairly tense, because we still have to win the whole thing. Maggie didn't say anything. This isn't good.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Game glitched out there for a second, didn't it?
Right 5 over bump.
That was a little nerve-wracking because I was afraid
Right
that I would.
4 through dip.
Well, that was already fun. Okay. That was great. That was just great right there.
Right 3 through dip.
So today I was going to talk, I still am. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Rousseau and Martin's rivalry. Now, Martin is someone who has been around the rally scene for a long time. He is, at this point, in his late 40s and looking to retire. He's
Right 5 over bump.
was being interviewed by someone during this particular event, and someone asked him about, whether he'd retire or not soon, and he said, yeah, I mean, you never know.
Right 3 through dip. Tightens.
You never know, my body still, it gets beat up pretty bad
Left 4 over
in these things, one bad turn and that's it, and part of me is thinking, you know what, I don't need to take the risk of that one bad turn.
through dip. Crest.
But 10 years ago, when he first met Rousseau,
Through dip.
he was kind of the world's hotshot,
Into left.
whereas Rousseau was brand new.
Right 4.
And there was this brand new team.
Jump.
Like I mentioned last week, it doesn't exist anymore, but at the time, it was brand new, and they were looking to hire some new talent, so they hired Martin, and they hired Rousseau. They hired the Martin for the experience and the almost legend status that he had created at that point, and they hired Rousseau because she was this hot, new, up-and-coming rally driver. And they thought she could set the world on fire. Plus, I think they kind of wanted to have a girl
60.
as well to kind of, I mean, even 10 years ago, I think they were trying to be, like, they were looking for talent, but they were also, I think they were looking at least trying to find a female talent to be more progressive
Crest. Jump maybe.
and
And right
try to not seem so antiquated, like, oh, well, it's a men's game, so it's got to be a men's game.
Right 4 over crest.
So they have that going for them. The thing about Martin, however, was 10 years ago
4. Keep right.
was also the lowest point in his career
4. Crest. Left 3.
because he was drinking heavily,
Crest. Jump. 60.
and he had fostered this reputation for just firing people randomly just because.
Left 3 through
Just because they, like, if he would drive poorly, he would fire them because the tires weren't aligned properly,
right 6.
or something else wasn't calibrated correctly. The only person he didn't do this to,
Right 6
so
over
he
dip.
had a team. I probably should have mentioned that. So he had his own team, much like Jamie has the Cherry Blossoms. He had his own team.
Right 4 long.
Um,
Through dips.
but he would just hire and fire people,
Over bump. 30.
because he was doing poorly. He would fire someone and then hire someone else and then fire them, and then it got to a point
Through dip.
where no one would work for him, and the only person who was still working for him basically was his co-driver and like temporary engineers that he would hire for, like, well, for this specific event or this specific stage, even to make sure his car was in shape. And then he had one bad event,
Right 6.
and he blamed it on his co-driver he had known,
Through dips.
in the same way Jamie and Maggie have known each other. They've known each other for years, since they were kids,
Over bump.
and he fired him.
4 over bump.
And Martin fired his co-driver, and that was kind of the end of him working or owning his own team,
Left 5.
because no one would work for him anymore. And so part of the reason this team that hired him wanted to hire him was because they wanted his experience, but they also wanted the redemption story of trying to redeem him. It would not work out. Spoiler alert.
Over bumps. To stop.
But yeah, so that's kind of how they both got to be to the point where they were being hired by this French team. and I will talk about, their rivalry in the second stage.
Perfect. Good job. Well done.
Yes. First place again. Event standings. Okay, we have this in the bag at this point. I can't see us. I mean, it would have to be a disaster to not win this. And winning this would mean that we win the whole thing.
This is a tricky one. Marshall says there was a big crash earlier.
Okay. Also, I'm glad to hear her comment at the beginning of this race. I was very nervous because
4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Because she didn't say anything at the beginning of the last race. The game glitched there for a second. So this is 10 years ago. 10 years from today. From this event, basically. At this point, give or take. And so the two of them were hired, and because Jamie was the younger, this new team, they had two drivers. They had Martin and they had Rousseau. I think I just literally said Jamie, I didn't mean to. They had Rousseau. There's the crash. Hope whoever's in it's okay. And because Martin was the elder, because he had more experience, I think that it's fair to say he was getting better equipment, he was getting better stuff. And I'm not saying that was fair in the sense that he deserved it because he was all of those things. I'm not going to comment on whether or not he deserved it over Jamie, or Rousseau. Jeez, over Rousseau. But I do know that she felt really slighted by this team. Because in all the events they were competing against each other in, she was crushing him. Not so much anymore, because he's gotten his act together, but it really annoyed her. Especially because she was supposed to be the new face of Rally, or new face of French Rally, I should say. And he was... that this team was still trying to basically get this rebrand of him, this redemption story thing going to bolster their brand too, because racing teams are incredibly important, and their brand recognition is incredibly important inside it, because well, I mean, it just is. And so I think they felt like their they felt like they that the Martin story was much better than the Rousseau story. I'm not saying they're right or they're wrong. I am just saying that that's what was happening. Is all. That's all I'm saying. Yep, there was definitely a jump. Wow. That was annoying. And that's a big chunk of time just taken out of my thing. Now, again, I'm not worried about losing, but oh, that's frustrating. It's partially my fault, but also the game penalizing me, even though, like, no human being should be standing there. In real life, they wouldn't. I would hope they wouldn't. We don't want to wind up like that photographer a couple months back. Last month? I think maybe last month. It seems like it was a long time ago, but I'm thinking it was probably March or April. Anyway. I talked about it in a video. So, yeah, Rousseau was super not happy. And so she started saving her money, and saving her money, and saving her money. The person that they had hired for her co-driver, and I guess I'll finish telling you about this in the next episode. The person but eventually she was able to save enough money to create her own team, but it increased the rivalry between her and Martin, which I will say this for next week. It has cooled off greatly since then. We better have finished first. Yeah, we finished first. I mean, we finished third in the stage, don't get me wrong. but we finished first overall, and in the championship, which was probably the most important part of this whole thing. It's only 4 seconds. It was only 4 seconds of penalty time. I was thinking it was longer than that. All right, so event standings. Let's see. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, that feels about right. And of course, championship standings. 2 points. We won by 2 points. We beat Martin by 2 whole points. That feels more right than anything else, I think. Boom! Won the championship.
Awesome. You are the Global Rally Series champion.
Well, Jamie is, but yes.
You faced the unknown at every bend, unflinching.
Yeah, you could say that.
Across every terrain and through all weather.
Uh-huh.
Overcome obstacles and given it your
Especially
all.
Spain. I overcome the obstacle of Spain.
A team forged through adversity.
You mean Jamie and Maggie? Yes.
No one can dispute your mastery.
I mean, you could. I only won by 2 points. So now we've unlocked the Triple Crown. I'm going to click on it. So we have Rally, Land Rush, which we will not be doing on the channel, and Rallycross. Looks like, however, we do have a car for the Triple Crown, which is good and exciting news. It means I don't have to buy an R5 car. But yeah, I can use that. I can use my rally car. That's exciting. There are 8 stages. Ooh, that's going to be a lot. This is going to take a while, is what I'm saying. Curious about difficulty. Okay, yeah, some significantly long. Yeah. Okay, this is going to be not fun. There's a better than good chance as we play the Triple Crown, we will, I'll be cutting some stages out. So Jamie's Adventures in Dirt 4 is going to take a brief hiatus while I take a breather from Rally after the Global Rally Series, because that was tiring. I'm just going to be honest with you, that was super tiring. So I don't know how many weeks off we're going to be a few weeks off, and then we'll be back to take on the Triple Crown. This has been Jamie's Adventures in Dirt 4. Thank you for watching. Come back soon for more Dirt 4.